shit, let's hold them back now. Young and now king, trip to go like a sack. Ducking from the laws with the dogs, bring the scat out. Talking all that shit, you sound like Charles while I'm Shaq. Good, feeling good. It's popping, my guy. Back at it again, episode 2. It's your boy Rare from the Rare to Clarity podcast. Back at it again with my guy, Kenny. What's popping, my boy?
What's going on, man? Your man, Kenny Klarity. We listen, man. Like, after all the smoke we got into, episode 1, I'm definitely excited for this batch. You know what I'm saying? Because
yes, sir.
This is where it's at. This is where the energy.
Bringing that energy, you heard? Nah, I'm feeling good too, man. Feels good. Definitely, I enjoyed the first episode, man. Chopped it up about some topics, recapping 2022. Looking forward to 2023 though, man. Feels good. And with that being said, man, we got sports happening. Like I said, this is always gonna be a music and sports podcast. And man, big NBA head here for sure. NBA is probably always gonna be like the top of the top for me. You know what I'm saying? Like basketball is my first love. I do enjoy football. I do enjoy boxing. I do enjoy I even enjoy tennis, honestly. Roger Federer. I don't know if we ever gonna have. What you feel? You ever get off of the tennis side?
No, I did. Well, listen. Anytime Serena and Venus was playing, for sure. I remember watching a little bit of Roger Federer when I was real young.
Yeah.
Andre Agassi, bald-head white dude who was a monster who was killing it. So every now and then, bro, like if Rafael Nadal, like it's got to be a real serious matchup for me to jump into the tennis gang. You know what I'm saying? But
you strike me as a guy that has a certain admiration and appreciation for Tiger Woods. What about that one? You just seem like that's your type of classic guy.
Yo, not an admiration for Tiger Woods.
Hey, it seems like you have an utmost respect for that guy, dog.
Yo, you're out of control, bro. You're out of control. I ain't really rocking with Tiger like that, bro. Like any of the black athletes that didn't want to really be black, Tiger, O.J. Simpson. You know what I'm saying?
That boy just started shooting right away.
Yeah, like
any other athletes that didn't want to be black, bro.
Yeah, you know what I mean? The black athletes that was trying to claim something else, like, I'm not black, I'm OJ. Well, okay. Like, we can go on with that. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, not really. I wasn't really rocking with Tiger like that. That's crazy.
I feel you, dog. Well, man, I think, it was a good question that came across my table, man. And somebody brought it up. They was like, which iconic athlete would you go back in time and see live if you was able to? Anybody, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
ooh,
dead or alive, prime, just for the hell of it. Who would that be? You got one ticket and one ticket only. Who you going to go check out live, dog?
I think, so, yeah, for me, it's simple, G. Like, I didn't get to see Michael for real. Obviously, got to listen to the music and all that. You know what I mean? I'm in my 30s, so I was old enough to be around a little bit. But like to really go see Michael in person, the closest we got is Brown, and I know Brown is cold. But the way that they talk about
hey,
Michael,
man, hold on, dog. This dude is saying which athlete you talking about.
Oh, my bad. You right. Look, we got to keep that. My bad. Look, Michael's a bit of athlete. My bad.
Right.
My bad. You're right. You said athlete. I'm thinking of any person I want to go back and see in time. My bad. If we're talking athlete, my bad. Let me get back on it.
What you got?
If we're talking
it still be Michael now.
Ooh. If we're talking athlete, you know what? I'm gonna give you. To me, it's real simple. Wilt Chamberlain. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
The way that they talk about Wilt is so crazy. 50, averaging 50, put up 100.
Yeah.
Most dominant center ever. Like, I got to see that for myself. Because, like, he's automatically thrown into the best centers of all time catalog.
For sure.
And I'm like, that's cool, but, like, was he really going through the things Shaq was going through? Like, was he really going through the things, you know what I'm saying, Kareem even was going through? Like, when basketball had kind of evolved and there was more skill and there was big men that could actually challenge, like, I need to see, like, what was the hype around Wilt? Was it really that? Or was he just a giant among men? Because if he was a giant among men, I think we should take a lot away from Wilt. So if I'm saying athlete, that's got to be my answer.
Now, that's tough. So it seemed like you want to go back to really, like, investigate, like, is he credibly one of them guys based off of the era he played in? You know what I'm saying? Because
Right, right,
if
right,
he, like you said, if he a man amongst boys, then it's going. I would have to take a lot of the how he's regarded out of all the eggs they put in his basket. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly, bro.
yeah,
Exactly,
that's a good one.
exactly.
Unexpected. I didn't think you was gonna say that for sure, but I mean, I would have wanted to see that 100-point game for sure. Like,
Right. Like if I was in the building for that,
yeah,
crazy.
that'd be crazy. If I had somebody, dog, I would probably have. I think. I was thinking about this question earlier, and I was like, by default, Michael Jordan for sure. Just because, basketball, my favorite love. You know what I'm saying? He's regarded as the GOAT. Things of that nature just automatically want to see him. And to see his killer instinct in the flesh I thought would probably be amazing. But I think I would want to go see Tyson, bro. Prime Tyson. I just and the crazy thing is it's gonna last 5 seconds. Like he gonna
for
knock
real
the
though.
guy out so quick, you know what I'm saying? But I would want to just see that, dog. And it just seemed like the person of not only the fighter, but the person of Tyson was something just very interesting to me. You know what I mean? Like the interviews
Yeah.
with him had always were entertaining. He was a little offbeat. Still is offbeat. If you watch his Hotbox podcast, he still seems like a lot of that guy. But his insight is even a little more interesting now because it seems like he's grown so much from just like at least the chaotic side of him. You know what I'm saying? Like it looks like a little more control. But yeah, man, I would love to have a front row seat at a Tyson boxing prime fight, bro. I think that'd be.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
I think that'd be. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I even kind of remixed the question. I was like, I kind of remixed. I was like, if we can see like who he would want to face, I was like, Tyson versus Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like a capitalization of the question, but like I would love to see that like mix up the eras. You know what I'm saying? Just for the heck of it. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah. If I can get Wilt versus Shaq, like the best Wilt there was.
Yeah.
Let me get that guy versus LA Shaquille O'Neal 01, 02, where he was, 40 points, 15 rebounds.
Tough.
5 assists, 3 blocks, something crazy like that. You know what I'm saying? And let's see if Wilt really deserves to be in that discussion for top center. Let's get that. You know what I mean? So
hey, I'm thinking without even thinking, Doug. I'm taking Shaq, bro. Like
easy. Me too.
I'm taking Shaq, bro.
Did you see like during one of Stephen A's old broadcasts when he does Stephen A's World?
Right.
Shaq was on. I think it was a Lakers game that day that it aired, and Shaq was like, out of all the centers you named, because he named Bill Russell, Kareem, himself, and others. He was like, Stephen A, where do I rank in that list?
Yeah.
And he was like, all I'll tell you is I know I'm not last. He said, if I'm last, I'm getting off your show. And I was like, yeah, that's real. That's real.
I like
that's
that.
Real.
Yeah, man.
Stephen A put him number 2 behind Kareem, and I can.
Oh yeah, that's probably the only for me. That's the only center I'm even debating putting him behind. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Accolades, he got him beat. But if I was choosing my 5, like as my personal 5, I would have to go with Shaq because I seen him and he's a part of my Lakers, so I would have to go there, man. But speaking of the NBA, man, NBA 2020-2022-23 season has been underway. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot going on. We passed just the first couple games where teams are getting their foot and cats are kind of hitting their stride now, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, just when we think about just immediate thoughts with like takeaways, standout players, just thoughts.
You're gonna enjoy my first thought as it pertains to the NBA season.
Yeah.
So get ready to gloat and do all the other stuff you like doing.
Hey, let's go.
But Jason Tatum is who you thought he was.
Yeah.
Okay. Clearly, Tatum has put himself in position to be and to hold on to being the top candidate in the NBA as it pertains to the NBA MVP. The way that the Celtics have come out the gate, having a lot to prove. Ime Udoka, running through the Celtics staff. An unproven coach who was only 3 or 4 years older than me. Questions about whether or not they were going to be able to keep it together through that turmoil. Even the Nets trying to steal the coach.
Yeah.
Early in the season.
Yeah.
Tatum's performance in the finals, even where we were kind of like, what's going on?
Right.
Like anybody else would get killed for this. He's come back with something to prove. He's come back, literally telling us like, I don't know who y'all thought I was, but yeah, I'm that guy for real.
Yeah.
And my NBA first team wasn't a fluke. Who I am is not a fluke. And like, not only am I coming for MVP honors, I'm coming for that chip. And so, like, I would have to say my biggest takeaway has been, my hometown, my favorite team, my Celtics, but not even just for hometown cooking and bias. Like, they really look like that team that's getting ready to, want to be right back there in the finals and smoke with whoever. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it.
That's what's up, man. That's a great place to start. You're from Boston. My guy that plays on your squad is from St. Louis, my city. And yeah, man, Tatum's that guy. I'm not gonna jump off a ledge and just outright say he's the best in the league or the best player in the game. I got to give respect to Giannis. I love Giannis. Giannis, I would probably put him still at that. He's still proven to be just that guy. I think Giannis is kind of in the place where LeBron kind of was for quite some time. I don't know if he gon' I don't see Giannis existing. I don't see Giannis existing in that space as long as Bron, like being that dominant year in, year out, competing for finals. I can see Giannis getting another MVP, but I don't know if he's going to get 4. But just the dominance, I don't see him at Bron level. But the space he's in, like kind of the space between him and the second guy, I kind of see him like Bron-like. I ain't going to say all the way like Bron. It's very hard to have anybody like that. But he's definitely still the person I would say is the best in the league. But Tatum, I think he's definitely solidified himself as a superstar. He's broke off that other tier where it was kind of like the Jaws of the world, the Zions of the world. I think it go Giannis, KD, Luka, Tatum. I kind of put them that's where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Like, and somebody may get at me and say, you got to throw Jokic there. You got to throw him. Them guys, to me, their games ain't on the level of them and they ain't done it long enough. You know what I'm saying? Giannis, he's a champion. KD, champion, MVP. Tatum and Luka, I think they ceilings are higher than the other two guys we just got done talking about, Jokic and Embiid. I know Jokic got 2 MVPs. If you ask me, I think he only deserved 1. I think Giannis still could have got it last year. And he's only been to a conference finals thus far. You know what I'm saying? One other name I probably got to give some love to, Devin Booker. Devin Booker. He's loving it. Look, Kenny G loving it. Let me get you up and down. Hey, Devin Booker, he's making noise. I ain't gonna say like it's just begun. I just think his noise had to be proven and solidified for me. He's been making noise, but he wasn't always playing relevant basketball or winning basketball. Chris Paul definitely, I think, took him from just being a great scorer to a great player. And he's leading that team now without Chris Paul. You know what I mean? So I think.
Read the sweatshirt, man. With the sweatshirt.
Keep the same energy.
Oh, okay. Because you know why I'm wearing this today, right?
What's up?
Because you throwing this take in here about Devin Booker. Ladies and gentlemen, let me fill you guys in on something. Me and Word, before we ever started this podcast, we had a group chat, like many of you guys have group chats there at home. Right. Let me educate you. About a year and a half ago, yes, it's been about a year and a half ago now, we had this group chat, and we were talking about young players on the rise, and I'll even show my hand. My favorite young player in the NBA, if I'm just speaking purely about fandom, not who's better or who's the best, my favorite young player in the NBA is Zion, right? It's my favorite young player in the NBA. The one I think is the best young player in the NBA is Luka. So we was naming other guys, and he was throwing out Tatum, of course, who is clearly doing his numbers. That's what we're talking about now. And he was talking about where these guys rank. And we're going to go back to that topic. But one of the guys I brought up a year and a half ago was Devin Booker. And I said, bro, Devin Booker is that guy. The man that is sitting, I don't know how you guys are looking at this, but the man that is sitting opposite of me right now in this podcast, okay, he literally just got finished telling me in that group chat a year and a half ago, oh no, Booker seemed kind of soft. I watched tape of him over the summer, where he was getting double teamed and he was complaining. He ain't got that heart. He wearing Kobe shoes, but he don't look nothing like Kobe. This, that, and the third. Now, a year and a half later in a finals appearance and him doing his numbers with no Chris Paul in the lineup multiple years, now all of a sudden he wind up in honorable mention and in words top players in the NBA. I just find it funny that when he does this, right, and I've been trying to tell him what it is on the court,
Right.
he never can just give him say, "Yo, Ken, you're right." It's always a fight. Then later on, he want to go ahead and give it as a take, like he's already been an expert on this and already been thinking about it and all that.
It's a caveat,
bro, where my
man.
apology at? Where my apology at, big dog?
It's a caveat. Hey, no, ain't no
You know what I'm
apology
saying?
worthy.
He wasn't on that level, man. What's going on, bro?
Well, look, I'm a guy where when time passes by and you've earned, that rightly so where I didn't believe you were at, I give it to you. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it's the process of seeing it being done. You know what I mean? Because it was moments where cats were talking crazy, and here's the thing, bro. That was during the time. I think it was surrounding the time of the finals, bro. And at that time, I'm like, yo, Giannis is about to do such and such. What's the name of it was going off for 40 points, I think, twice in the finals, but then he had some lows, and I'm like, yo, that's the type of guy. He's showing back who he is. It was questionable. Now, he's back in another position where Chris Paul isn't, and he's showing more that he's proven to be one of them guys. You know what I'm saying? So but other guys, like I said, I still have him kind of just a slight underneath those other four guys I was just mentioning, dog. Some people probably gonna definitely put the Jokic's of the world, Joel Embiid. I'm just not big on big man games, especially like a Joel Embiid, than I am like on the other backcourt players. So, yeah, man.
Matter of fact, bro, so I'm gonna hurry up because I know we got other topics to get to.
What's up?
But I can't stand you for this reason, bro. I'm gonna let people know why I can't stand you.
What's that?
I'll admit Philly is underachieving,
right.
And even to this point, when they've gained some traction, so they're not as bad as they were. They're still in playoff contention, and they've missed James Harden first part of the year.
Right.
They've missed Tyrese Maxey first part of the year. Joel has had to carry that team. Do y'all know at the end of his close to MVP, the MVP that was robbed from him by Jokic?
Oh,
okay,
no. See, we got two different takes.
robbed from Embiid.
Go ahead.
Right? When Joker won the MVP, Word gets in our chat again and says, "Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I feel like Joel Embiid has played his last year of like that level of basketball." Right?
Oh, yeah. I said that's his last best season. Like his best season, or behind this season. Like he's not gonna no longer eclipse what he's already been.
I just want people to know. Going from October, he started slow when the season started. Mm-hmm. November, he got progressively better. December, he started going crazy. And here we are, bro, having this conversation. And I just want to let you guys know, even though the team isn't living up to numbers because of injuries, Joel Embiid is playing some of his best basketball of his career still.
Is this season better than last year?
Bro.
Answer that. Is this season better than last year?
If we're looking at the numbers, bro, you can argue.
Nah.
You can have a legitimate conversation.
Because last year they were equating to dubs.
The team's not winning, Word. The team's not winning. So we're not going to show him love like that. But I'm talking about, like, what is he doing? And he's literally, like up until this point of him finally getting his players back and stuff like that, he literally was, like, keeping them afloat. Slightly above 500 there's nobody else on the roster, bro. You keep doing. You like to pick guys that play well on horrible teams for some reason. If you're a great player, I don't want to hear it, bro. Because if this is LeBron James, these are the standards that we have these days. Like you, the number one guy. You should be able to do X, Y, and Z. LeBron was overachieving with horrible players. Embiid, is he one of those talents? Now I ain't gonna say LeBron, but if he MVP worthy, if Luka's MVP worthy, they should be able to be not just barely a 500, but they should be considered to be a respectable playoff team. Philly's not playing like that. Dallas not playing like that. I take you back to when Russ was doing it. Russ had that triple-double team. They were a respectable team above 100, and I think they finished 6th in the West. Right? That's not bad. But you say Luka, he's that guy. He don't got no counterpoints or cash. Well, Russ didn't have a major cast back then. Russ was not playing with anybody that was an all-star or a Hall of Famer. Who was he playing with? Word, let me educate you. Huh? Let me educate you, bro. Let me educate you. I got you. I'm educate you.
Who was he playing with?
So, Here's the problem. Stephen A. Stephen A. Smith is when he says something right. He's Stephen A. Smith. He's Stephen A. Whenever he's saying crazy stuff.
Right.
Stephen A. Smith said, what the Mavericks need is to work around a roster similar to what AI had in that 2000 season where they approached the Lakers. And here was his reason. He said, hey, we know that AI didn't have the greatest talent, but what he had was guys who complemented him, played their roles and their positions well, and allowed him to work toward his strengths. So a dude like Eric Snow, Aaron McKee, Todd McCullough, Dikembe Mutombo, these weren't offensive guys, but these were guys who knew their role. They played defense. They were in the right spots. They could knock down an open midi or an open jumper, and they spaced the floor enough for AI to just go to work and go for 30, 40 plus, whatever.
Right.
The team that the Mavericks have, not only are they not really good role players, they're not good fits for Luka, but also, bro, on certain days they play like dudes who were picked up from the YMCA. They don't play like professionals, bro. The thing about it is his thing.
You said that about Jalen Brunson last year. He's got 100 M's.
This is no excuse. The reason why I'm saying that is because Joel Embiid, when Harden and Maxey are not in the lineup, he has the same issue. These dudes don't know where to fit when they're given bigger roles. That doesn't mean that I'm not doing my numbers and that I'm not lifting y'all up, bro. If I got 40 points, 15 rebounds, and 15 assists, and we lose that game, you can't say you didn't get the ball. You can't say you didn't get open opportunities. You can't say I didn't put in work. So whose fault is it? It's just me when I have 40, 15, and 15?
Yes, it's all on
40,
you.
15, and 15, and it's on me.
Hey, it's on your back. Hey, because I'm
honest.
It's on you. It fall on if it's one thing, bro, like first of all, ain't nobody. Joel Embiid is not giving you 40, 15, and 50. He ain't doing it.
I'm talking about Luka. Luka has given us.
He's giving you games comparable, 40, 10, and 10 or something like that.
Yeah, I was about to say he's given us up until this point. I think he's given us 3 or 4 40-point triple doubles up until this point. This season, word.
This season. What we gonna attack about?
I mean, what the hell else you want, bro?
Where's his effort on the defense? I told you, bro. He needs to tweak his game. He needs to lose weight and tweak his game. I'm gonna tell you right now. Anytime a player
lost the weight.
Now he ain't lose enough. I don't care, bro. He just admitted.
He ain't losing enough.
Hey, Luka admitted himself. Chuck asked him, one fat guy to another fat guy, hey, what's the problem going on? He said, well, I'm the problem. I'm too slow. At least he know, but you got to go do something about it. Why don't you think Luka feels that he can't play at a different pace, bro? You tell me, is it because it's not equaling to Dubs? You know what I mean? It ain't like it's James Harden style where I hated his game, right? But he was getting 60 wins in Houston, dang near every season. He ain't getting that in Dallas.
But hold on, no word. This is what I'm trying to tell you. If you're gonna say stuff like that, that's fine, and I partly agree with you. But you got to tell the whole truth, bro. James Harden literally had a GM who did what do you call it, analytics. Who literally, I mean, his thing. If I'm making something up, tell me I'm making it up, bro. But you can go read this stuff.
Okay.
Like I never
Let
say
me hear what you got to say. Let me hear it.
Daryl Morey literally gutted his entire management, filled it with analytics dudes, which is how he got James Harden in the trade in the first place. Because he said, technically, according to analytics, James Harden's going to be a star. He gets James Harden. Then what does he do? He gets Eric Gordon. He gets PJ Tucker. And he gets other glue pieces for the Rockets, who all are 3-and-D guys. All they do is shoot threes and play defense. Well, his thing, all James Harden wants to do, if he doesn't drive to the lane for a layup or shoot a three, is pass it out to an open shooter. And you literally surrounded him with guys who analytically make the most sense for James Harden to play with. So of course he's getting wins, bro. But look, because I'm playing with guys who complement my game.
But hold on,
I was trying to say earlier in the podcast.
So some guys may accompany your game better, but we're not finna talk about PJ Tucker and Eric Gordon like they ain't just some other YMCA guys. You were talking about Tobias was still on that court. He's playing with Joel Embiid.
No, not YMCA guys. I'm saying they complemented.
They did.
They complemented his game.
The talent gap between the cast that you listed for Houston around Harden in this cast that's around Dallas or Joel Embiid whenever Harden and Maxey is out, it's not leaps and bounds between those guys. It ain't like they playing with one's playing with all-stars and the other one's playing with YMCA guys.
I'm glad you
You know what I'm
said
saying?
that,
Like,
Larry. Check
that's
this
not
out.
leaps and bounds.
If it's not leaps and bounds, I'm gonna give you a challenge live on the podcast. You're going to lose, and then you're gonna have to apologize.
What you talking about?
If it's not leaps and bounds, give me 4 players off of Philly, not named, Tyrese Maxey, and James Harden. I'll wait.
What? But I don't understand what's the point trying to be made. I'm saying
But I'm-
it wasn't a lot of great players on either one of these all three situations, right? So when you want me to name players on this current Philly squad, what is that gonna prove?
No, what I'm saying to you is, when you say it's not leaps and bounds, I'm saying the Eric Gordons of the world, the PJ Tuckers of the world, the Daniel Houses of the world. Well, Eric's still there, but PJ is with the other places, and when they added PJ, those teams went to the finals. Daniel House is now playing for Philly. But before then, when he went to other teams, he boasted contending teams in the NBA because he was that valuable of a piece. Not saying I'm talking about in his role. He's not an all-star. He's in his role.
None of these guys had anything next to their name. They were just jersey numbers.
Players, when PJ Tucker goes to Milwaukee, that literally puts them over the top, bro.
Yeah, but they just jersey numbers though. PJ Tucker has won other players and been valuable as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Everybody else ain't have Giannis. That's more the factor to me.
I'm with you. But what I'm saying is these guys that play currently for Philly are not the same caliber as a P. Like, to me, it is a huge gap if I'm talking about PJ Tucker, Eric Gordon, Daniel House versus whoever Philly has that's not named Maxey and Harden. We can't even name these dudes. And I watch basketball every day just as you do.
Tobias Harris hasn't he been an all-star? Hasn't Tobias Harris been an all-star? Bro, hold on. They chose Tobias over Jimmy Butler, so he must be valuable in some degree.
Which let me be clear. Philadelphia's front office is on crack. Let me be clear about that. They're on crack, for the record.
Hey, man, look. We gonna circle the block on some of this conversation, but let's get to some of these predictions, man. NBA Finals 2022-23, man. As the season sits now, who do we feel has the best odds? I mean, we can look at Vegas. We know what Vegas already looking like. I can come off the top and tell you it's Boston number 1, I believe Bucks number 2, and Golden State number 3, and I think Clippers are somehow still at number 4. How do you feel about those four teams? Are they kind of the guys we leaning towards, or what you feeling?
Let me put it this way, bro.
3 out of the 4, I'll give it.
I like Milwaukee. I think that's a given. I like Boston, of course. I think that's a given. Mm-hmm. Ooh, the issue for me is not even oddly. This is a different year, and I think you would say the same. If you look at the standings, you almost can tell who's going to come out of the East. Like who's going to be the last 4 standing roughly.
Facts.
What you can't tell is who are going to be those final teams from the Western Conference. I'll be honest. I can't even tell you who I love from the Western Conference for real. If I'm honest, I can't. Like, bro, it could be anybody.
I can't tell you teams I love. Right? Yeah, I can pick some teams I may like.
Watching a lot, but I can't tell you like this team to me if they have it all together is that team from the Western Conference. So here's what I'll do. I guess I'll throw somebody out there. I'm gonna catch a lot of heat for this.
Okay.
And this is gonna be the hottest take of 2023, most likely.
Hottest take of 2023. What we got?
If all healthy, the hottest take of 2023 is coming out of the Western Conference. I could easily see the New Orleans Pelicans.
Oh yeah, I'm about to get this dude
hot take, bro. Hot take, bro.
Hey, Stop New Orleans, man, you might as well say the Charlotte Hornets or something, man. Look, New Orleans, dog. Come on, fam. You showing your fandom with that Zion stuff now. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get up in this solo right quick.
Hot take, baby.
Here's a hot take. He talking about the New Orleans coming out the West as a finals, representing the West. I'm going to tell you something right now. Hot take. I don't necessarily believe I ain't gonna say necessarily. I convincedly believe that Zion cannot be the number one on a championship team. I don't think he's. Oh yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
crazy.
Oh
You
yeah.
lost your mind.
Hey, I'm trying to keep it a
You
beam
lost your
with you,
mind.
dog. And look, it's something that I'm noticing, dog. And you can't tell me that's any more hotter than us being questionable about AD is that, right?
No, I think we can, bro.
Bro.
I think we can.
Look, I'm somewhere in the gray when I look at AD, right? He wasn't the number one on my Lakers when we won it in 2020 in the bubble. If you ask me talent-wise and who would I start my organization around between Zion and AD, actually, that question is a little difficult because I'm looking at him right now. But if you said to start, I may lean Zion. But if I looked at game translation, I'm probably going to go with AD.
I just want to say this.
Come on.
Zion is coming off of missing an entire year of basketball.
Sure.
Okay. He started out this season, decent. Bro, I don't know if people have been paying attention, but Zion has figured it out defensively. This is apart from fan. I'm talking about
man.
just watching the games.
I need a bigger sample size to say.
Let's say I'm not a Zion fan, though.
Okay.
I'll remove my fandom. I'm just going to speak objectively.
Let's hear it.
Zion has figured it out defensively, which is really the biggest knock on Zion because up until this point, he was one. Matter of fact, just to show you how objective I'm going to be, I'll keep it real for the people watching the pod.
Okay, what we doing?
Zion was one of the worst defenders in NBA history in his first couple of seasons.
Oh my God.
That's fair enough for y'all. So
That's
y'all know
fair. I mean, that may be a little crazy, but go ahead.
I could be a fan and still be objective. There you go. I hope that's fair enough for y'all. So let me go on and finish what I'm about to say. Zion has figured it out defensively, bro. There's a stretch, late November, early December. Zion is literally getting 2 blocks, 3 steals. He's in passing lanes. He's all over the highlights. He's 33 points, 15 boards. Doing stuff like that. What I'm trying to tell you is this: Zion has lost easily. If you look at him from the season he played to the season he didn't, Zion has lost easily 50 to 60 pounds. He's running up the floor well. He's played majority of his games this season thus far, knock on wood. What I'm trying to say is this, bro. If the Zion I'm watching today is the Zion we're talking about moving forward, and he's healthy, I don't see any reason why he can't be the number one option on the championship team. He's figured it out defensively. He's already the second most dominant player. He's the second most dominant player in the NBA, not named Giannis. Literally. 60% from the field.
He's nuts. Now, hold on.
What
are you defining
not
as
best? Not best.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm asking dominant. What are you meaning by that? Like imposing will wise? He's unstoppable. Like he's basically unstoppable. Like what do you mean by that?
Well, I got you. Unstoppable, unguardable, imposes his will on any defense every night. Here's the thing.
He ain't giving him that.
Here's the thing. I'm not the first person. I don't even want to act like I'm the first person to say this. Kendrick Perkins is sitting on ESPN 3 or 4 times. What I'm saying is this. Matter of fact, let's go by the numbers. Okay. Zion's year, the year he made the All-Star team, Zion led the league in points in the paint per game, over Giannis Antetokounmpo's MVP year, which he had over 20 points per game in the paint. This year, bro, he's literally doing whatever he wants. 60% from the field because teams can't stop him. So, he's going left, and you can't guard him.
We look at the game totally. Let me get in here.
Outside of Giannis, he imposes his will.
We look at the game.
He imposes his will more than any player in the NBA.
Bro, we look at the game totally different. You say you reading 60% from the field.
I'm watching it. I'm not reading it. I'm watching it.
Right. But this is how you see the game. You're saying that as if that's a reflection of dominance. I'm looking at that and saying he's limited. He can't pull from 30, 40, hit the midi, also driving traffic in the paint back. Like when you talking about, that's why I say
that. Hey, word. Here's why your argument goes down. Who's the most dominant player in the NBA?
But you're
in NBA history. Who's the most dominant player in NBA history?
The most dominant big is Shaq.
Who's the most dominant player? Stop it.
But hold on. Word. Let me finish my point, bro. Because you saying dominance and it's only accredited to like points in the paint, 60 feet. I just see that where he can't go nowhere else. That's not necessarily true with Giannis, bro, because Giannis ain't just Like, Giannis is not just getting points in the paint because he's just down there on the half-court set. He get a lot of points in transition. He get a lot of points from turnovers. And, of course, they're going to be in the paint because he's finishing at the hole. But that's not just, here, Giannis, now go get a point off a half-court play, and that's pretty much it. I'm not seeing...
That's not Zion either.
That's not Zion. Zion is not to the degree of a Giannis where he's the second most dominant. I ain't going to give him that.
I can tell you haven't watched Zion play in a long time.
Honestly, he doesn't give me that many opportunities to see him play, and I got league pass. That dude don't play a lot of games. He's just now getting to the point of being consistent on the court. Now that's a valuable concern. That's why I say, is he gonna be healthy enough? And you know one thing about when you're talking about dropping pounds, is keeping them pounds off is going to be a bigger problem for him.
That's true.
Is he going to be able to keep pounds off? We've seen James Harden that probably ain't even the size as a Zion, and this dude's body has fluctuated up and down, right? His game don't even depend on athleticism. That dude, Zion, is solely, I ain't going to say solely, but I mean probably 90% athleticism, freak of nature advantage. Is that not pretty accurate?
I would say that you haven't watched Zion play in a while, bro.
Hey,
and here's the thing.
Give me the advantages of his games that don't involve athleticism. Give me the advantages of his game. Give me the advantages of Zion's game that doesn't involve athleticism.
First of all, Zion as a ball handler is guard-like.
Oh,
guard.
I've watched his. Oh my God, we see the game totally
all right,
different.
Matter of fact, here's what we're gonna do. We'll settle this off the pod and we'll bring it back up later because I literally have. We can get some footage. Let's Let's pull him up right quick. You want me to pull him up? We're gonna keep going. But all right, man. We'll spin the block.
We spin the block, man. NBA MVP 2022-23. Before we jump into this, I got a video specially made for you. You hear me, dog? Let me.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Let me get it right.
Half remaining. This is the first game of our doubleheader. Clippers and Warriors next. Doncic season opening goes inside. Blocked by Tatum. Jaylen Brown for three. Sequence for the Celtics to go back up by 17.
Mike, we were talking about the defense of Jason Tatum in the first half. Looks like Luka has a step.
I pulled that clip specially for you, man, because are these two guys MVP candidates for sure? You see what I'm saying? But that is the epitome of what one can do and what the other one can't. Play defense. Somehow in this league now, probably because of Steph Curry, he's made us romanticize about just offense to another degree that defense doesn't matter no more. But guys that are considered GOATs are typically what? Two-way players, right? They typically probably have multiple all-defensive teams. If we look at the Kobes of the world, we look at the Jordans of the world, we look at the LeBrons of the world, what do they all have? All-team NBA, all-team defense. Do you ever believe Luka achieves one of those? Let's start right there. Yeah. Do you believe he actually obtained one of those?
Yo, you a funny cat, bro. You a real funny dude.
Hey, I had to set this one up for you, dog.
No, I don't. That's a loaded question. But no, I don't. And he knew that I have to be honest to my basketball brain. So no, I don't think he achieved.
All right, man. So what about the MVP, man? How do you feel about it? Do you feel? I know Tatum plays for your squad. I know you've been telling me you're not a Luka enthusiast, but it seems like you are. But that may just be due to my enthusiasm over Tatum. So how does it sit? Do you think they're the two front runners, or do you see somebody like a D-Book, Joel Embiid, Jokic coming behind it and stealing it, or Giannis?
Yeah, I mean, until Luka figures out the aspect of winning, I'm gonna keep the same energy that I always kept. Mainly because, look, bro, like I don't love Luka enough to move the goalpost. When you're flirting with 500, flirting below 500, flirting with being in and out of the playoffs every 2 to 3 days,
right?
Yeah, that's not acceptable, bro. You know what I'm saying? And so individually, if this were just about one player's performance, I think Luka would be still my top candidate for MVP. I mean, I think with all the stuff that he has to do.
I feel
but
that.
Because it's about not just your individual performance, how you got to lead a team, I think he's out of the running at this point in time until he gets that situation fixed. With that being said, I think a dude like D Book should be closer to Tatum. I think depending on how much the Warriors continue to improve, Steph Curry is somebody we should continue to watch out for if they find out that they get that together. I think Joel Embiid is in the same space as Luka, so he's kind of have to be out of there.
Yeah.
So I think as the more that we go, it's Tatum's MVP to lose. It's Tatum's MVP to lose, bro. It has to be. He's got to remain healthy. The Celtics have to keep winning, and he has to continue to be the catalyst for that. But I think he has a firm grasp on it. If he loses it, that's because his performance dipped, not because anybody came and took it from him.
Okay, that's a pretty interesting. I'm not gonna go as far as saying it's Tatum to lose because Tatum, I think Tatum, bro. I'm not gonna say Tatum's underrated. I don't believe that. I think Tatum is fighting an uphill battle because one, his situation makes a lot. I think it makes a lot of the voters look at the MVP a different way. You know what I mean? His situation, what I mean by situation, his team is nice. He got another guy that's considered to be probably a top 15 guy, JB, right? I think that's going to weigh a lot on people. And then his other guys' games or just names that they just seem to love more, like a Luka. He's probably been the favorite MVP, like the favorite for MVP coming in for like the last 3 seasons, right? He hasn't won it, but yet he still's always the favorite. Then you have like the Jazz of the world, the Zions, where their games or just their names or more box office, technically probably not even better than Tatum, but if they dunk in, they getting certain blocks, they doing certain things, it tends to kind of make it easier for them. And honestly, I honestly loved, I think Tatum game, next to probably like the Kyrie and KD, I probably won't prefer anybody else's game over his game right now. Like just watchability. I don't think if you can go with Ja if that's your style, but I need my guy to be able to be a assassin behind the arc, and Ja's not that. And because Tatum, he can go bang in traffic. You know what I'm saying? Like he can catch bodies. He got a handle that's like that now. And his shot always been like that. And KD and Kyrie, they check off all them boxes on the offense. Steph Curry for sure, you can throw him in there. I know when you doing these pods, you get to forgetting cats. Dame at a certain prime peak premium package, he could be in that bag. But I think I'm gonna have to go with KD and Kyrie, considerably the only guys I may take over Tatum game right now. But yeah, back to the MVP talk, dog. I think Tatum will end up being the MVP. I think as long as they have best, I think he gonna have to have the best record in the league. I want to say it can't be like him finishing anything. I couldn't see him winning anything behind the best record or second seed out the whole, like the second best record out the whole league. I always have to give credence and honor to like Giannis. I think year in and year out, he's always going to be in there, and you just never know. Chris Middleton just came back, so I think they're going to be definitely back in the talks of having best record. And outside of them too, man, yeah, I just don't think Luka's going to win enough games to be there. Performance-wise, like you said, if it was solely off of that, definitely a top candidate. But I don't see them winning enough. Jokic and Book maybe outside of them two, Giannis and Tate. I think Jokic and Book gonna be the other two guys I would firmly consider. You know what I'm saying?
So there's a reason why I didn't name Giannis, and there's a reason why I didn't name Jokic when we asked this question specifically, because what I've seen throughout the NBA is voter fatigue is real, right? To me, the way that you have to be, you almost got to be a LeBron character to win more than 2. After you win 2. The way the voters see you begins to change. The way the league sees you begins to change. And they begin to take your talents for granted because it's like, oh, yeah, we've seen this already. We already gave you 2 MVPs. Move along.
Yeah.
If you're not Braun, if you're not on that level, they don't really keep rocking with you after 2 MVPs. So the reason why I'm confident to say that this Tatum's to lose is because like they've gave Giannis, his MVP. They gave him his Defensive Player of the Year. They gave Jokic 2. Those 2 dudes are going to have a real uphill battle to take it from Tatum at this point. A dude like Booker, though, maybe. Luka, if he starts winning, maybe. But I think voters go, come on, man.
I can feel that.
We did that. Let's give it to somebody new. You know, when you think about MVP voting.
No, that's pretty on point. Voters fatigue definitely is a real thing. You do definitely have to be at a level of, the Bronze of the world, Jordans, and it has to be almost convincingly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Steph Curry, I think he may be one of the people that probably could have defied the whole voters fatigue just because he's so likable. And
I agree.
You know what I mean? He was pretty much the guy that supposed to be the next face. He probably still is the face, but I think him losing that 3-1 league in the finals definitely kind of tainted or delayed it. But I think he would have been one of those guys that would have defied that for sure. So yeah, man, MVPs. I think it's gonna be. I don't see if Tatum wins it. I don't see him just running away with it. I think it's always gonna be somebody like shifting between 2 and 3. They maybe even get up to 1. He may fall, get back. I think it's gonna be that kind of situation. You know what I'm saying? Like where every game at the end of the season gonna count. End of an era, though, man. Are we seeing the end of an era? What do we mean by that? What do we mean by that? Is it time to put away the KDs, right? The LeBrons, the Stephs, James Harden, who else would be in there? I definitely want to, Russ is my guy, so Russ, I have to give my guy there. He's MVP. Dame, I would probably put Dame a little bit up under them, but that era, that elk of guys that were winning the rings from the past decade, is it the end of that era of them running the league in the Ja's, the Zions, the Tatums, the Lukas, the Books, Jokic and Giannis's of the world? Is it time for them to? Is it time, or have they already took it from those guys? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's a great question, dog. I'm gonna say it like this. It's not time right now,
okay,
right? But come back in a year and a half, and I think we're having a completely different conversation as to where what I would consider now the old guard being lost, being gone. Like Braun only got about a year and a half left. He want to play with his son. Once his son gets there, he may play 40 games and be done, right? Then you got your dudes like KD, who is still KD, but the allure of KD has kind of gotten like one of the top guys where we can move on from discussion. Kawhi Leonard has exited himself.
Oh, yeah. Kawhi is already out the frame almost.
Yeah, we don't even know where Kawhi is in life. Like, Kawhi and Andre 3000 are hanging somewhere in some remote country.
On.
You know what I'm saying? Playing the banjo and eating sandwiches. Sorry, that's just what it is, bro. Like, we don't know where these two gentlemen are. Like, occasionally they pop up and do some work and then they're gone again, bro. That's how I feel about both.
They up in Bali with Russell Simmons, man. Go ahead, now you got it.
Facts though, bro. So yeah, I think in a year and a half or so, bro, the league is gonna be Zion, Ja, Tatum at the top, Luka at the top, Jokic at the top. Giannis kind of being the new LeBron for real now, where it's like, okay, it's his era, but all the guys right under him are ready to snatch his spot, grabbing his heels, pulling his legs down, like, hey, bro, like, we coming. I think that's what we're gonna see in about a year. Just give it a year, bro, and I think that's when, okay, we got it. It's over. It's changed. Bron's out. Those guys are out. New guard is in. What you think?
Nah, that's a good assessment, man. Would I agree with the year and a half time frame? I don't know. I want to say I still see Bron. That may be an accurate time frame for the Bron, right? For Bron. For KD and Steph, I want to say they may have a little bit past that, maybe 2.5. You see what I'm saying? Especially if they relink. I still think Golden State need to go back and get KD. You know what I'm saying? I think that's
you think a reunion is possible.
Yeah, I still think that's a possibility. I don't believe these Nets, they are trying to turn a corner and trend upward, but is that a real team to consider to be over Boston or the Bucks? Healthy? Nah. Robert Williams coming back for Celtics. Chris Middleton just came back. What they already have, they're set in stone as all machines. They're not going to have enough to eclipse that. But, yeah, I still think KD can go back to Golden State and a reunion happens, and they can definitely be a juggernaut to deal with for the next 2 to 4 years, make it to the next 2 out of 4 finals. I can see that for sure.
Okay.
But it's not an end of an era, but it's nearing the end of an era for sure. The Jazz, the Zions, the Lukas, they passed the whole coming phase or term. They're here now, and it's just they playing with the big dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You see that last year with Luka going in conference finals. Jokic been to a conference finals. Giannis got him a chip. Tatum been to the finals last year. I think I didn't even suspect Memphis to be nowhere near that type of team last year, winning 50-plus games, being a real big deal. So, yeah, I think it's definitely at that stage where the new faces of the NBA have arrived and they lacing their sneaks for the next 10 years. That's where we at. You see what I'm saying? So, I think that's
agree.
where we at, man.
NBA's changing a lot too. The game is changing, and so I think maybe there's a guy coming that we'll discuss, coming up. But the NBA's changing, man. New guard is coming.
Some people believe that none of these guys we're talking about is the face. They believe it's this guy.
Team player so far from what we've seen. Denied. Wembanyama on the block.
And that's where he really is a difference maker.
You ever seen a 7'4" guy bringing it up, starting things at the point?
Ralph Sampson. We did see it in the 80s. We didn't see it often. But we did see it. But I'm not sure Ralph was doing that. I'm not sure Ralph was doing that at 18 years old.
Henderson using the screen, blocked by Wembanyama, his second block already. Down goes to Konate. Wembanyama up top, throwing it down.
The ultimate lob
nuts,
threat.
ain't it?
The NBA Summer League, which you and I both get opportunity to work. And now with G League Ignite making Henderson / Las Vegas
Don't worry,
home.
I got him, coach.
Wembanyama for three.
Come on.
Wee.
And if you saw the crowds that they draw just being, out of markets, we're really excited to be in.
Have you had a chance to watch Victor Wembanyama play yet?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of the game the other day. They play again tonight, right? Yeah, he's like the 2K creative player.
But the way his skills, the way he can shoot the ball, the way he can move, he's extremely fast for his size, can block shot, can be a threat in the offensive end. He's unbelievable.
It just puts a smile on your face if you play basketball, because the evolution of the game is taking us this far. You know what I'm saying? When we got 7'5" dudes who's able to do everything on the court,
His ability to put the ball on the floor, shoot step-back jumpers out of the post, step-back threes, catch and shoot threes, block shots. He's for sure a generational talent, and
That's where we at with it, man. Victor, they called this guy Wemby. I hope that's not going to be his nickname in the league, because I can't call the nigga Wemby. Anyways, Victor versus LeBron. First, before we get to the whole Victor versus LeBron, that's already a loaded segment, right? I think the question is how serious is this guy, Victor? You seem to, I ain't going to say you love this guy way more than me. I've watched a fair amount, but, you seem to have a different eye than me. You give me your full intel on this guy and his trajectory and what's to come.
Yeah, listen. Exactly what I think it was Curry, whoever said it, bro. They said this dude is a 2K creative player.
Yeah, that was Curry.
Like that 7'5" dude you make, and then you take him directly to the park after spending all your money on 2K coins. That is who Victor Wembanyama is right now at 18. Now I want to say, and I want to make it clear, right now at 18, because we don't know what his trajectory looks like. But I'm telling you, as an 18-year-old, I don't know many people that have me more excited at that age who let me know, oh, this dude is going to be one of the best players to play in basketball as long as he's healthy. And so that's where I'm putting him, bro. I think if he's not a top 5 to 7 player all time with his skill set at 18, that means he stopped developing, got lazy, got injured. Something that was one of those happened. Or he didn't, or yeah. I would just say it's one of those 3. So that's where I'm putting him, bro. And I think Victor Wembanyama is absolutely the truth at 18 years old.
So how many years how many years you giving him before he's the face of the league? 3? That's pretty much how long it took for Brian. What you think?
Yeah, he doesn't quite have LeBron James's magnetic star power in the West. So here in America, we're just now warming up to him, whereas LeBron, we watched him since he was a teenager.
Yeah.
So if it took LeBron 3 years, give him.
And I'm probably exaggerating. I think I'll probably say face Brian. Probably what? Probably 2010.
Probably 5 years though, bro.
Probably about 5 years. Yeah, probably about 5 years. I say 5 years. Yeah. So you think similar time frame? That guy's going to be that guy?
Well, the great thing about the time frame in which he's coming in is our discussion right before this in our podcast, which is what do we think about the old guard and the new guard? And I think it's we set these up strategically to a certain degree, but I'm saying I think that question allows for a dude like Victor to come in and possibly be the face. Yeah. Especially if the production looks the way that I anticipated looking 3-4 years into his career. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Now, again, that is predicated on him going up from here. Because what he can't do is get so complacent to think, I'm already this good at 18, I'll just stay this good at 22. No, that's not going to work that way. But if he's working, if he's just being Victor and getting better as the game slows down and all that, I see no reason why he can't be the face in 5 to 6 years in the NBA.
Okay. That's tough, man. My take on this guy, I think, when you look at the skills, when you look at the frame, I think that all is eye-popping. You know what I mean? I think there is something to look over and be like, that could be special. But could is the big word. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of things could be special because we've always had this whole thing about going nuts over frames and abilities we've never seen. Honestly, if you ask me, when you think about the guys that identify as that and has came to actual fruition and been that, I may give you 1 to 2 guys. 1 to 2 guys. And I'm not including Brian. I'm not including Brian. Because Brian, I don't think Brian is not a frame that we talking about 7-footers with guard-like handles. Brian is not that. You know what I'm saying? Like the guys that fit that is like the Kevin Durant's. That's the person that I think of where it's like he actually turned out to be what we were so freakishly amazed about, and it translated to actual real all-star, superstar, all-time greatness, right? You look at the guys like Chris Stapps, he was one of those guys they felt had some frame like that. You look at a guy, Chet Holmgren. I didn't see much to really give much that love for, but, unfortunately he got injured with playing in a Drew League game versus Brian, but I wasn't hype on that train. I would probably say Victor Sillen would probably for sure is going to be higher than a Chet, but it's a lot of questionable things. The body, like it's guys that play at that height doing guard like things are typically always injury prone. Hence AD, right? AD got more bones, more meat to his bones, but he does a lot of times he does things that he shouldn't be doing, and he ends up getting injured. And if that's going to be the case for this guy, Victor, I think he can fall in the same line of fire where he's always injured. He's doing things that I necessarily don't even want my 7-footer to be doing. I don't necessarily want my 7-footer to be bringing up the ball. Now I don't. What are my guards doing at that point? Right? What are they doing? He goes, because here's the thing. Here's a real situation. A real situation is next year in the draft, who are they saying he may go to? Who are the teams up there?
San Antonio, Houston, Orlando, Detroit.
You know who else up there, right?
Who?
Charlotte.
Ooh, Charlotte is.
And if you ask me, I would love for him to go to Charlotte, but I only would love for him if he's not going to be running guard like things, because I have a LaMelo Ball up there. They have who up in Detroit? Ivy, right? They got Ivy up.
Cade. They got Cade up there as well.
They got. So it's like
tough.
it's like, how much are we raving about something that we don't necessarily want him to be doing all the time? It's nice to have that when your guard goes sit down, right? But we're talking about other guys that have a lot of ball usage.
Let me tell you something. But if he goes to San Antonio, he changes the trajectory of that franchise.
Oh, he does. Honestly,
if he goes to Houston, that changes everything. So it just depends, though. You're right. Now, I will. Here's the thing. I know we disagree a lot, we fight a lot, whatever. Okay, cool. But one of the things I think that needs to be said for the pod, even on episode 2, is we wouldn't be here if I didn't respect your basketball mind and vice versa, bro. I know you watch the games. I know you have a great understanding of what it means to be successful in the league as you assess it. And so we're not here by accident. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I'm only saying that to say this, bro. You're talking about what if not, and I guess I'm asking you a question I haven't asked you yet, which is, but what if?
What if it all works out like we dream of it?
So let's say he goes to a place, bro, like, which I think would probably be the most conducive for him. Let's say he goes to a place like Houston that has a couple of young players already. Mm-hmm. They're not making no noise right now. We get that. But Jalen Green can really play. Right. Kevin Porter Jr. can really play. This kid that they got, Smith Jr. can really play. Mm-hmm. He's their latest draft pick. And then you add Victor Wembanyama to those young guns who are out there losing games. And what if they say, yeah, we got guys that can play off the ball. If you want to bring it up 30-40% of the time as a center, who's going to stop you at 7'5"? And you're going to be the feature guy here. And when you get doubled and triple teamed, we got dudes who can average 20 apart from you. What if he gets in that situation? Then how is his prospects looking if he goes to a team that needs that?
It's very. I mean, I don't necessarily know how that works out in Houston, right? Because the guys you naming, I think they can ball. I'm not the most fondest of like particularly the Jalen Green. I think Jalen Green kind of bites or barks louder than his bite.
Okay,
but I suppose, like, I do see Jalen Green as more of like a scorer. Like, I think he needs somebody handing the ball off, right? From what I'm seeing on the team that Victor is playing for, he has a lot of guys that's pretty good with the ball in their hand. It's just when they give it to him, he's able to create on his own and doesn't need somebody to feed, right? So I haven't really seen guard-like abilities when it came to playmaking and facilitating. I just think his handle is guard-like, right? So I don't look at him like the Lukas or the Bryans, where they're some of their God-given gifts is being able to put others in great position to score or playmaking. Right. I don't know if I necessarily see him like that. I think he can just, if he gets a double team, he can dribble out of it. He can take it from the top of the arc to the cup without having to like get a screen. He can do those things. So I think I would need further footage, further evidence to be like, he can go to Houston and lead the offense and run it through him from a guard-like perspective. I would love to see him in either Charlotte or I would love to see him in San Antonio. I think the cast that he'll be playing with in Charlotte would be amazing. With playing with somebody with such gifted skills to facilitate like LaMelo. And I think the organization and the coaching of San Antonio would ultimately give him all the development he would need to be, what people are saying he could be, one of the greats. I think he needs to go a situation where, his development is going to be key to his success. Not just you go somewhere because of your frame, you take it to where we believe you could. I think he got to have the assets. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so let me ask you, because I like what you're saying. Let me ask you, if he goes to San Antonio with a franchise that is known for developing talent, develop the Kawhi Leonard, develop DeJounte Murray, develop Tony Parker, develop Manu Ginobili, Pop, one of the greatest coaches, if not, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem if somebody said he's the greatest coach of all time.
Right.
With that organization that is prone to, when they have pieces, to go for it, to win, is a winning coach. Probably one of the most winning teams in the last 20 years.
For sure.
If Pop gets a hold of Victor Wembanyama,
right,
for the first 2 to 3 years, because I don't think Pop's wants to coach much longer. But if he gets Victor, I think he'll coach longer than he plans on coaching even right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So let's just say San Antonio lucks up and gets Victor, and Pop is with him the first 3 or 4 years of his career.
Yeah.
Now what are we talking about?
Now, I believe if Victor gets in the hands of a Popovich, I believe that is the best situation to get premium, peak, all-time greatness out of whatever is destined for that kid. That's what I believe. I believe if he go anywhere else, he'll always be a shell of what he would have got if Pop would have got out of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I believe. That's just my take. It can be other situations where, like I said, I like the Charlotte situation. I think that can be something dope as far as, like, easily starting to see success right away because you have a LaMelo. But I don't necessarily know if he's going to get the development that he's going to get from a Popovich because we know the track record that Popovich has shown us. He's done it with two different units, and he's done it with some of the players we didn't even think should even been on the court, right? So, that's kind of my take on Victor, dog. I do believe his body has to get more than what it is. He can't continue to look like that at that frame. Hopefully
18 though, bro. 18. He's only 18.
18, man. Hey, Bo, he's still looking like how he was wherever he was. You know what I'm saying? That boy's so knock-kneed. He look like he ain't nothing but a bag of bones. But it's guys, it's work ethic and intangibles that mean a lot to me. And like I said, off air and on the chat, man. Like I need to see more to really see what his intangibles look like. And you said Kevin Durant, and I'm not the biggest fan of Kevin Durant intangibles. I'm really not. I just think he's more guy.
Wow. Okay.
Oh no, bro. I have a whole different. That's another day topic when they talk about KD. But yeah, I think I need to see more when it comes to his intangibles. And I think I'll have a more fair judgment on kind of how he's going to go into the league and where he can possibly end up. You know what I mean? But the whole Victor versus LeBron, yeah, I can understand why some people may take him over LeBron at 18. I just know,
18.
I just know for me, like I have a lot of questions in that frame. So Brian pretty much had an NBA body from day one, right? He looked
Absolutely.
He looked like he belonged in the NBA at 18, just visually. It's one thing, his game was already there. Visually, he looked like he was there already. And I think it's things a part of his game that I think, like I said, facilitating and playmaking that he's naturally gifted and better than anybody at that stage probably was. That was not a traditional PG, right? I would say LBJ has that. Athleticism, I would definitely say LBJ had the advantage in that.
That's about it, bro.
I mean, outside of that, though, it's just frame amazement when it comes to Victor. I mean, I give him shot. He definitely has a better shot at this stage than LeBron did at 18. I'll give him that.
Hey, I would say this. He got a better shot than LeBron did at 18. Defensively, 1 through 5.
I don't know.
Right now at 18. Bro, here's the thing. Here's what people don't understand. And I think it's important. Especially because people may not know us, and people who tune into the podcast may not know our credentials. Let me just say it this way, bro. When I talk basketball, I'm not just talking from a dude who happens to watch games.
Yeah.
Like I do homework, bro. The league that he's playing in has developed some solid professionals, and right now his current competition is better than if he played in the ACC or if he was going head up against somebody in the Pac-10 or something like that. Like he's playing against grown men. Even the G League may struggle or be right about there with the competition he's playing every night. So we can look at it.
He's not playing in the G League? Where's he playing at?
No. I'm talking about no. He's not playing in the G League. He's playing overseas, bro. Those are overseas games.
Right.
He's playing overseas with grown men.
Man,
that's what I'm trying to say. So here's what people don't understand. We look at leagues. Matter of fact, I heard this from from a podcast I listened to a while ago with Brian Windhurst and all these other like NBA scouts for ESPN. I won't be too long. And pretty much what they were saying is Derrick Rose brought his high school kids from the inner city of Chicago, some of the best ranked dudes in the hood of Chicago who really play basketball, who were ranked in their high schools. He brought them over to Africa. He said that he had a conversation with Derrick Rose before they got there, and he was like, "Yo, D Rose, like." Your kids ready? D Rose is like, my kids think they're going to come in here and wax these African players because they've never heard of them. And they like, who plays basketball in Africa? Like, them dudes are like eating flies and and drinking tap water. Like, that's how he feels. You know what I'm saying? Bro, D Rose brought his all-star team from Chicago down there of 16, 17, 18-year-olds against the NBA Africa Academy Africans who were 16, 17, 18.
Right.
They got waxed by 45 points and ran off the gym. Then they went to another gym where some other African prospects were playing and got waxed again by another 30-piece. D. Rose said by the time his kids went home back to Chicago, they were silent the whole bus ride, bro. You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to tell you is, I say that to say this. People be laughing about these international leagues and, oh, okay, you going over there and dropping 30, dropping 40.
Right.
I'm telling you, some of these dudes who really think they can play, go over to France and catch a 35-piece, bro, and never play basketball again.
Hey.
So Victor's playing in a grown man league, bro.
Hey, is he playing in that league where Dwight Howard is?
No.
Cause I got 40 on Dwight, getting 40 on your boy, man.
Hey, no facts.
Hey, Dwight went over there and put up 40, 20, and 50, something crazy, dog.
I ain't never seen no crap like that in my life, dog.
He's shooting
Dwight
threes.
Howard was Superman out there, bro. Literally, bro. That's ridiculous, dog.
Hey, Tijuana. Hey, you know how you talk about Stephon Marbury having a statue over there in Asia. He finna have one in Tijuana, bro. I kid you not, bro.
Oh my God, dog.
I kid you not, dog.
Bro.
Man,
bro.
That's gonna wrap up the NBA talk, dog. I know we've been talking for some time, but like I said, man, this is always gonna be an NBA or a sports podcast, and also a music podcast. So yeah, man. Before we get into this next one, dog. 2023, you know what I mean? 2022 was a great year of music, I definitely want to say. We talked about, some of the best rap albums, some of the album of the year, some of the verses of the year. And with that being said, man, 2023 is here. Not sure who all we gonna get, but I'm excited. I know Rihanna should be coming, prayerfully. We know she got announced as the Super Bowl halftime show. So I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, I'm a part of the Navy. Shout out to the Navy. And, man, it's off of the top, man. Most anticipated albums of 2023. Rihanna definitely is at the top of my list.
100%. You know why we're here?
Yeah, you know why we're here.
With that boy Marshawn Lynch said, you know why we're here.
You know why I came in here. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
Rihanna, Auntie was the last album, which was probably a classic at this point now. Auntie is almost a press play for me. I love that album.
What year was that? Do you remember words?
2016, 17. 17? I think it's like 2017. Yeah. It's 5 years ago. Yeah, going on 6 years ago, 2023. Yeah. 6 years ago now, yep. Auntie was her last joint. She's pretty much, man, I almost can play every album from her, bro. Like, I am a Rihanna, like, actual listener, consumer. Like, I want to see her live. If you talk about rap, Cardi B, I think she have to be up there. She's due. Cardi B's due, man. The time, at one point I was like, Cardi B is playing it right. She's making records last longer than what I've expected. She dropped singles between then that were doing commercially were commercially successful, and also actually was dope songs. Like WAP was a dope song. I liked it. Up. Her last joint with who was that on there?
Dirk and Kanye.
Dirk and Kanye. I was not a fan of that one, but
that beat I was a fan of. My God,
who was that?
Shout out to Tay Keith.
Keith. Oh yeah, Keith crazy. But I think Cardi B is on the clock, man. What you think? You think Cardi is on the clock?
Cardi's been on the clock, bro. You know what? Cardi, let me just say this about Cardi B. If you thought that girl was done, you got another thing coming.
Yeah. Clearly,
bro, she is having sex with the game, bro, no Vaseline. Facts. Facts. Because the way she's able to manipulate these singles and manipulate one album and manipulate other stardom in movies and stuff like that without really giving us major content, major albums, major songs is absolutely amazing. Cardi B is a superstar with being virtually silent, dog, for like 3 years now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Rather than little features and singles here and there, bro. So yeah, she's more than due, but I say that, and then I'm looking at what she's been able to do apart from that, and I'm saying, but is she? She's also on this Glorilla record that's getting a lot of traction right now that people love.
Yeah.
So it's like Cardi finds a way to stay relevant, be relevant, and be somebody that we even have to talk about in the pod, though we have no content.
Right.
So is she due? I don't know. I struggle with that. I don't know, bro. I think she's due, but I'm not sure.
I think, man. I mean, I definitely agree with a lot. Like I said, that was even a part of like a lot of what I was saying. Like she's done a great job of existing without actually giving us any concrete project. You know, her sophomore. But I question that. Is it the fact that she's kind of hesitant with the sophomore slump curse? You know what I'm saying? Like, is she? Because you know, we just got done seeing somebody else. You know, kind of go through that same situation. Lil Baby.
What you talking about, where?
Lil Baby. My Turn was definitely a banger. It definitely was one of them joint solid freshman project. But It's Only Me was not that. That was not it. It was not it, bro. I've had time to sit with that album. Nothing brings me back to that album. And
hey, real quick, because I know you're talking. Let me just do this real quick. Serious note, moment of silence for Roddy Ricch, who also experienced the same curse. God bless your career. My bad, brother. I just wanted to put that out there. Keep my condolences to Roddy. You know, that's it, bro. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Hey, dog, I was dead ass serious, like trying to. I didn't know where you was finna go. I'm thinking you finna like, hey, nah, man, but nah, he definitely in his drop was because you know his. I would say if you was to ask me who had the better debut between Baby and Roddy, Baby was definitely more my speed. But if I'm taking a step back, being objective. The height of where, please forgive me for being antisocial or whatever it's called, being antisocial, Roddy's debut, the height of that off of the box alone.
Off the box alone, bro.
And it was a great album. The fall was steep. Yeah, High Fashion. The fall was steep, bro. Because here's the thing. What's the name of may have failed quality-wise, Lil Baby, but sales-wise, he didn't fall. Sales-wise, he actually went up. Like, My Turn was here, and then sales-wise, It's Only Me was actually higher than My Turn. Right. So, you know, he can kind of use it as a safety net, and it wasn't as deep of a fall even in the quality, right? I just think he didn't grow. I ain't saying Lil Baby album was just totally get it out of here. I just think, like, what are you offering me from this album, My Turn, to this album that makes me want to say, you know, you grew and this was worthy for a sophomore project. It wasn't much. There was a gap between them. Yeah. So that's more of what Baby's struggle was. Roddy was just, he didn't sound the same. He didn't even have the same type of confidence in what we loved about him on the first album that he had on. What was it? Live Fast, Live. Let me see what this album is called. It was like Live Fast.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Something crazy, but he just wasn't.
The thing that was the project that kind of propelled him into, okay, who is this? And then, you know, we got the box and everything else. So yeah, like Roddy, yeah, man. That was terrible. I don't know what happened to dude. Like, that was one of the worst things. I'll say this about the Baby project while you're looking that up.
Yeah.
Baby's project was a disappointment also because track 1 sounded like the last track of the album too. Like it felt like I was listening to one long song with one long cadence with one long, and I feel like I was like, dang, like
yeah.
I would call Lil Baby, he was getting to the point where he was like the verse king, and then to get this album on top of all of those classic features was like, what's happening? Like, why are we not experiencing a different level of musicality, of artistry, of like experimentation that we should expect from somebody who we're now trying to put in that new legends category?
Yeah. Because
of his early work, we're trying to put you there.
Yeah.
And then you give us that? I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, that was fat. Yeah, the album was called Live Life Fast. Yeah. It was
Live Life Fast. Yeah,
it was a major drop off, bro. But back to the whole other 2023 most anticipated. What else comes to mind? What else does we got? Rihanna, Cardi.
You know what we need for 2023, bro?
Who was that?
I got you, bro. I got you. This is what we need.
Who was that?
Dr. Dre, Detox, bro. We need it for 2023, bro. Where's he been, bro? He's been promising an album for 15 years, bro.
You still waiting for that, Doc?
Can we get Detox, bro? I'm just saying, like, it's 2023, bro. Can we get Detox?
I don't know,
please?
Bro. I don't know, dog.
All right, I'm gonna let it go. My bad. Keep going. I'm gonna let it go.
Let me see, dog. Who is somebody that I had somebody in mind earlier? I cannot think of who they is now.
Who haven't we gotten in a while? When's the last Cole project? I know he's been dropping recently, but
the fall off or the off season? No, that was only about a year or two ago.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
2021. Yeah, he been consistent. He had the Greenville collabs. Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean, dog. We need a Frank Ocean album, man. You know, Frank is one of those special, unique, eclectic, just alien sent the earth to bless our ears type of guys. You know what I mean? Like, he is special. It's been a while. Blonde was the last one, which was a classic.
Yeah, Blonde was a classic, but Blonde was what? 4 years?
Blonde was a while ago, bro. I mean, we're talking about...
Blonde feels like so long ago, dog.
Bro, Blonde was so long ago, dog. Like, that album had to be over 16? Yeah, that mug going on almost 7 years. Yeah, it's about 7 years ago that mug came out, bro. So,
yeah,
Blonde...
unacceptable.
Yeah, bro. I definitely think Frank is definitely due, dog. Because we haven't even had, like, really no collaborations with him anywhere since then, either. You know what I mean?
Like, and that's the thing. Like, I don't mind. Frank reminds me of a dude. Frank kind of can get, even though Cole has changed this recently, Frank reminds me, it's funny that we brought up J. Cole and then went to Frank, because Frank is a talented artist who provides innovation in the R&B space. Not a supreme vocalist, but still gives us all the feels, all the creativity. But then, like, he'll drop Blonde and then disappear for the next 4 some odd years.
Yeah.
Same thing Cole used to be. They're like kindred spirits in that regard. But at least if you're going to disappear, Frank, cool, do that. But give us a feature here, a feature there, a song here, a song there. Be on someone's soundtrack. Do some background vocals. Like, give us something to let us know you're still alive, dog.
Yeah.
Like, we ain't heard from Frank in no capacity. So I would love for Frank Ocean to bring a dope project to the table, because I think he's one of those guys. And I think when he drops, music is better for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of my favorite records, that I was playing today was that Calvin Harris joint with Frank and the Migos.
Oh, yeah.
I love that joint.
That joint fire.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But I just want to hear Frank, but, like, don't drop and disappear. Give us something that we can hold on to.
Yeah.
At least while you're not going to drop a whole project, please.
Nah, yeah, because that's the thing about Kendrick. I think I said this on maybe an IG Live of us we did, like, in the past. I was like, Kendrick, he'll drop an album, but it's not the fact that he took a while to drop an album. It's when he drops an album, he just goes back to his corner. He doesn't exist in the era that he's dropped in and start collabing with others. He does the tour. He does what you want your artist to do. I just always like my artists to give me a few extra credit things. If it's a feature, if it's a collab tape with, like, a producer, you got Metro doing stuff like that. You got the Drakes and 21, Future. You know what I would love? This is what I would love. I would actually love a Gangsta Grill's Kendrick project.
Ooh.
That mug a Gangsta Grill,
absolutely,
a Gangsta Grill collab with Kendrick in Theory sounds amazing. I mean, it just feels. I mean, it's everything you would want out of hip hop. It's that mixtape vibe. It's a top tier lyricist. You got a respectable DJ, one of the most respected, and it's kind of like what I didn't expect this at all. When Tyler went and got that Gangsta Grill vibe, I did not know what was gonna come of it, but he delivered. You see what I'm saying? Like, he delivered, dog. So in theory, bro, I would love if Kendrick was like, you know what? Man, Kendrick need to add me to PG Lane, bro. Like, bro, that would be some amazing music we can get, dog. Outside of that, though, dog, I think it's time. And it ain't been like he's on the clock. I just think the situation and the circumstances that was, that kind of still hangs over his career, I think it's going to be some anticipation there. It's Travis Scott. Travis Scott.
That's it. Travis
is in a unique situation because I think the tides of what was once against him is starting to now come back into his favor. You know what I mean? He was just on Metro Project. He got down in Atlanta with Pharrell. Did you ever peep down in Atlanta?
I haven't, to be honest with you. So I'm going off a recommendation off of that, as far as that's concerned.
The thing about down in Atlanta is I more so was going to talk about the sound and the direction they took on it. And when you listen to it, it kind of gives an insight or a glimpse at what, because of the situation that was around Astro World and what they were saying, like all the symbolism and the symbolic and all that was around, it sounded like the down in Atlanta and Pharrell route sounds very much cleaner and commercial. But Travis is good at that. Travis is good at a nice, clean commercial sound that doesn't necessarily have to be what I love about him, which is the deep, dark, this just otherworldly voice. That's the Travis I love. You know what I'm saying? But it wouldn't be a bad move for him to go that route. You know what I mean? Maybe do some stuff with like Pharrell for sure, but I'm thinking of these other guys like Zed is one of the guys. Zed is like this DJ. You probably know him. He does a lot of just international, global. It's a couple of the guys, even the Calvin Harrises of the world. That type of lane, kind of like what the Weeknd did coming, because Weeknd was a very much dark act, like very, Toronto-like. But then all of a sudden he just had this bright coming out of nowhere that was like he's a pop star now. If you ask me, I don't want that for Travis, but it may be a good move momentarily for him. You see what I'm saying?
I hear you on that. My only thing is sonically, when you take a hiatus like Travis has to a certain degree, with all the the stuff surrounding Travis, with the with being sued and other issues and being out of the public eye to kind of let it blow over. When you take that route, it's respectable that you do so, and people definitely I think are in a place of more of forgiveness of wanting a Travis album.
Yeah.
But when you want Travis, you kind of want Travis. And Astro World was one of my favorite projects. So to go from that to giving me something that's kind of like out of there or experimental when we're kind of licking our chops to get back in with you a little bit.
Yeah.
Like for me not to get a like a Travis that knock with that hard 808 with with the vocals coming in, I would be very disappointed. And I feel like even though a change of space makes some sort of business sense, fandom that could actually go left for me too. So I'm not sure about that, bro. But I hear what you're saying.
No, that's an interesting one. It's an interesting because I think it just depends on what Travis fan that you talk to. Because I do think he has a pretty widespread fan base, and a big portion of it does listen to top 40. You see what I'm saying? But he just got done with that whole tape with Metro, and that's a different style of Travis. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what he do in 2023, man. But yeah, Cardi, Travis, Frank. I think those are probably the biggest bevy guys and gals that I would say are the most anticipated. Is Jay-Z in there? Hove?
We don't need another Hove project. I actually pray Hove never drops another project. Actually.
Wow, now you're nuts. Now hold on, man. What you mean by that?
Jesus. Listen, bro. We don't need it. We don't need it, bro. The way people are beginning to feel about Tom Brady is the way I'm beginning to feel about Hove.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Come on now, hold on. This is getting nuts.
Don't get me wrong. I know Hove just had a candidate for Verse of the Year last year and all that. I get it.
Uh-huh.
But like, do I want a project from Hove coming off of like I feel like he gave us grown man Hove in 444 and like leave that Hove. Like you gave us 444, you gave us, a verse to remember your greatness on. Keep doing features if that's what you want to do. But like if I find out Hove is coming out with a new project, I'm gonna be like, nah, I don't want this. I don't want it. I don't want to hear it. And I'm an East Coast dude. I love Hove. Hove is my favorite rapper and number one as far as I'm concerned. But do I want an album from Hove at this stage of his career? No. I just want him to be the legend he is. Give us dope features where you're absolutely killing these young dudes, bro, and continue mentoring, business decisions. Put out some more alcohol that we can try. But I don't want nothing else, bro. I'm good. I'm straight.
Hey, look. Let me say this, dog. I'm gonna tell you the reason why I want another Hove album. I ain't saying it gotta even be in the necessary, like the nearest future. But what Hove has done, I can say now with company, what he's done though, and probably has led, is he keeps on extending the life of a rapper, right? Which I think is good. I think it's good because it was a moment in time where rap or rappers had a certain window and only was to believe as to be a young man's game, which I think it's definitely still a young man's game. But because you have the Jay-Z's of the world, and why I say it with companies, now the Nas's of the world, they are steadily extending the life and putting out some of the best premium music of their careers. Definitely with Nas. You see what I'm saying? So I would love for that reason alone to get another Hove record. I do feel you with the whole Tom Brady similarities because in only regards to his content. I don't know what else Jay-Z can really give us to where I'm like, I'm getting a different side of Jay. You was the hustler guy, you're the mogul. We hear about your marriage, your kids, which I love all. But it's now like, I don't want to hear no more like that same palette of content. And he's been existing in this world of kind of like mogul, business savvy, luxurious talk for quite some time. And kind of like recapping Rockefeller, right? He been doing that for some time. So it's like, what else could he give us that we haven't already got what we'd be exhausted about? So I'm kind of indifferent about it, but for the sake of the extension of a rapper, dog, I think that is always good. And he's definitely the biggest example of that for sure, dog.
Yeah, 100%. I'll definitely give you that. I think it's a strong point. I also think a dude like Nas is going to look 30 forever. So the reason why he can continue to do it is because if we didn't know that Nas
Hove look 59 already.
Yo, like Nas is 60, but you look at him, I guess you could pass for 35.
Yeah.
All right, bet. You know what I'm saying? Like most rappers can't do that. You know what I'm saying? And so I respect both Jay and Nas in what they're doing. I love the fact that Nas, after the whole 21 controversy, came out with that joint with 21, and that was fire as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. Sometimes like the older rapper does need to die. Like, and I think Hove, there's nothing for you to accomplish. I think Hove has ran out of stuff to talk about, which is why he's talking about how rich he is, the investments in art. Like, we're gonna get that for the next 20 years.
Do you think an act like Drake Drake put a battery in some of the guys that may have hung it up earlier before he was not around? They was like once they saw Drake, they was like, you know what, I gotta go back in for 5 more albums.
Yeah, I think that happened to Hove for sure. Yeah, I think that's why Hove didn't quite put it down. Drake kind of has a spirit that wakes Hove up, I feel like. Mm-hmm. And so some of the reason why we've gotten Hove for as long as we've gotten him is because of the emergence of Drake. I would say that, and I don't think that's a crazy take at all.
No, I think it's pretty fair.
Oh yeah, and I know you got your own theories on how that works, but I think that even for the average and the casual listener, that most people can kind of connect those dots. However, at some point, Drake should also make certain artists go, "Yeah, I don't got it no more. Let me hang it up," and that effect needs to take more effect than the opposite one of them thinking they got 10 more years.
Let me get this one in. We ain't gonna spend too much time on it. How much time? First, let me ask you this: do you believe Drake is still the guy?
Oh man, are you kidding? Absolutely.
I can't assume everybody sees him as I see him. But
listen, the brother just had album of the year, did he not?
He did. I agree. I'm just trying to this is for the audience, right? They may not think. But all right, since we both believe he's still a guy, how much longer do you think he exists in that space as the guy? Does he have it on a stronghold?
Drake is 36?
I think he's about 30. Yeah, he's probably knocking at the door. He's about 34, 35, yeah.
Oh, 34, 35. Okay.
Brian's
Let's say Drake is 35 for sake of conversation, because I don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry, viewers. But let's say for conversation, he's 35. Why doesn't Drake have 15 more years?
Woo! Now hold on. Let me say this, dog. So I mean, trust me, bro. Why I can hear what you're saying, right? the reason I'm saying hold on, because what I mean as the guy, like every time he drops, he's still in the,
you mean in the white hot space?
not
like
the white.
space?
I ain't gonna say white hot space because that's like it's been a couple guys. He's not in that white hot space no more. I'm saying like when we say top 10, 5 rappers in the game right now, is he number one? Is he? You know what I'm saying? Like I think he's held that down since probably almost since he's came in. I would easily say I'd say 10 years. He's been that guy, right? People have entertained being there. You got Travis, you got Kendrick, you got Cole, you got a couple other guys, Future. Baby, maybe you can throw him early. I'm just being nice. Anyways, he's for the most part dominated that space. I'm saying like that. I don't know if I can see him doing 15 more years like that because he would have to also be as active, right? He would have to continue to give us not as many albums, but at least come down to like maybe once every other year. I think he can stay there for once every other year. Let's say we get 7 more albums out of the next 15 years. I think he can considerably do that. But that's like in this space where he is now, sometimes he's giving us two albums a year. I don't see him doing that still.
So okay, if that's the space you're talking about, because I feel like I see Drake and Jay in a very similar light as it pertains to like who they are. So when I say 15 more years, I'm talking about like people, regardless. I know Boosie just said Jay's no longer relevant. Not too long ago, he had said that stupid thing or whatever. Okay, whatever.
Right.
But even though I don't necessarily care for Jay album anymore, if Jay drops, that doesn't mean I'm not gonna like be there ready to play it the next day.
Yeah.
That's not true. You know what I'm saying? Of course I am. Because I'm like, what does he still have to talk about it to say? The intrigue, because of just who Jay is still there. I feel like that will always kind of be Drake. So that's what I mean by 15 years. But in the space that you're talking about,
I feel that.
The most streamed artist space, the space where it's like, even if he's not white hot, he's still dominating, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. 6 to 8 years?
Nah.
Like, bro, we're still talking about a very long time. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, for sure. I'm not going to dispute much. I'm just, trying to fill it out. I think that is definitely more fair, though, because, like, the 15, probably even more than the way you was digesting it earlier, is probably 15 plus for sure. But the 6 to 8 to where I was kind of, like, leaning towards asking the question, I think is definitely more accurate. And honestly, that just kind of depends on workload and output. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of up to him. I always said he'll have it until he want to let it go. And I think...
you know what, though?
What's that?
You know what I was just reminded of? And you'll appreciate this as a hardcore Drake fan. It also depends on how long we have 40.
For sure. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's really the core of the question, honestly.
Yeah. If 40 somehow passes away in this time, all bets are off.
Oh, yeah.
That changes things completely.
Changes, man. Yeah, I mean, and he knows it. You know what I mean? Like, they moved their entire release date and concert, I believe, because 40 caught COVID. So but yeah, man, I think that's definitely going to be entertaining. We're gonna definitely have an episode on that one for sure. Just talking about goats and eras for sure. That's gonna be the comment. But let's get into this last topic of the day, man. Let's get it. I think it's pretty interesting. Do first week sales still matter? Right? First week. I feel like our era and kind of like, somewhere between our two eras, we kind of came up in like the era where like first weeks mattered the most. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like our era between the Ye's, the 50s, the Waynes, the T.I.'s, like, I feel like, because when Drake, Nicki, Cole, Kendrick came, it was still mattering, but it was not like that. Like, niggas was rapping about it in every line. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. But like, let's just look at it from the face value. Do first week still matter, especially in a world of streaming now? How do you feel about that?
First week still matter. Yeah, I do. I think they still matter. I'm gonna tell you why first weeks have to still matter, bro. Because like even when we're in the chat and those first week's numbers come out, whether it's Billboard who announces it, whether it's academics on Twitter or something like that, and we see an artist that we think is like in that space of being one of those guys or one of those girls, among the culture. Let's take an artist who's dealt with a real fall like the Baby. when the baby, first week only has 18K or 21K,
Yeah.
that's a big deal in the culture. So we can't say on one end, for somebody that we expect to have a first big week, when they have a terrible week, it matters then, but then holistically want to back away from the idea of first week sales not mattering. So I think in light of just thinking about that alone, the principle leads me to say, yeah, first week sales absolutely matter. And it actually matters to the point where how much the public will take you serious moving forward. If you flop your first week, the public kind of agrees with your sales and then allows you to continue to flop moving forward. And I've kind of seen that trajectory happen as we look at like acts who are coming out, and even like the disconnect between maybe somebody who has a white hot single that goes 4 million sold, and then their album drops and they got 10K. Normally, that's an indication that artist is not going to be around too long. Yeah. And so I think first weeks do matter. What you think?
I would say first weeks, dog. Yeah. So first weeks. Let me see how to answer this. I have so many angles to look at it, dog. I would say first weeks matters. Speaking like personally for me, dog, as an artist, I would say first week matters if it matters to you. You know what I mean? Like personally as the artist, right? Like it only matters if you put stock in it like that. And if you know your fan base, you know how your fan base listen to music, right? So as an artist, it matters if you make it matter. As a fan, right, as a consumer, somebody looking on to others, I am a numbers guy, right? So I'm a number guy for just I'm wired that way, right? But it does help quantize or rank people, not quality, but as far as like what class are they in? Like it help classifies this tier of artists. Not even talking about quality, just like, can this guy, do I expect him to come to this arena when he come to my city? Like, if you do like 500K, I expect for you to be like, basically at like, in my city, it's the Scott Trade Center, right? If you go to LA, it's the Crypto Arena. If you
come to Houston, it's Toyota Center.
Right, like, it kind of helps me think about things in that manner. And then it also tells me, if your music is meeting your fans past just like the TikTok or viral moment. And that's kind of how I look at first week sales. It just kind of give me indicators of other things in the artist or act career. So I think they matter from that point. I can't put certain people in certain categories because they don't have the numbers that meet that. You know what I mean? Academic does a good job of kind of like categorizing like certain milestones, like a guy is taken real serious if he does over 200K. I think that's a fair number. If you do over 200K, you're now not just a popping artist now. Now you're starting to be somebody that can tour and probably do some hard ticket sales, right? And that's another conversation too. I ain't gonna say first weeks always indicate you sell hard tickets, meaning like you bring people out to concerts. It may just be that you have a great internet connection between you and your fans in the apps they use, like YB. Young boy, he don't necessarily do crazy numbers in the first week, but his fans only listen to him. So they may not go crazy that first week because he just dropped something 2 weeks ago, right? But they gonna listen to that album all year long, so it's gonna stay on the charts all year long. You know what I'm saying? Like Bad Bunny. I don't think Bad Bunny last year went crazy the first week. Like he ain't come out the gates doing like a meal. But the dude had the #1 album consecutively. I think he may have broke the record. Like it was something crazy. Loso, he was talking to us about that. And he was like trying to, maybe say he's the biggest artist because that. And not only that, you look at his freaking shows. I mean, that would probably be the bigger reason. But stuff like that, it's like your fan base may not be the first week type. Y'all may just be like, I'm going to get to it when I get to it, and it starts to stream. Because you take somebody like Tory Lanez, he's an indie act now. He's not going to go crazy in the first week. But then you have songs and albums like Alone at Prime and Color Violet that still hitting hundreds of millions of streams a year after it's then came out. And I say that's when the numbers speak to the quality. Like, he ain't got no big boy commercial or big boy ads, front page of Apple, playlisting by every Spotify playlister. Like, it's so many different ways to look at it, but I would say they still matter. The weight of how much they matter depends on the viewer and the consumer, though. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think it kind of boils down to that.
Yeah, I think because of the social media culture climate, though, bro, that they also have to matter in that regard, because that's what I was talking about a little bit when I was getting into what is the reflection of your first week's numbers to when it goes out to the public?
Yeah.
And we live in an age where people love to troll, people love a story to make fun of. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was this meme going out. I forgot who the artist was. It was a female artist. I don't know. Was it Sweetie or something like that?
I was just about to bring
Sweetie. Yeah, but it was like, oh yeah, she just dropped her new album. It's slated to do 500 copies his first week, and that was like a meme. You know what I'm saying? Like, we love the misery of you not doing as well as you expect, or that the public expects, or whatever. So when your first week is predominant, if you're a new act especially, or a newer act, and your first week is predominantly something that we would be like, dang,
right,
in light of that huge single you had, you were supposed to kill that. What happened? Like, we love that. And that is a reflection of how people view you moving forward. Yeah. You could literally become a joke in the conversation simply because you had a bad first week. So when I think of it from that standpoint, it makes me think, this matters a lot more than we give credit.
Yeah, the internet, man, and this, like you said, social media, they definitely. So honestly, when I say the internet, I'm really talking about Twitter, man. Twitter is almost Twitter
crazy, bro.
It's nuts.
Crazy,
they will drive a whole false narrative as the truth, and you can't do nothing if it's about you. Can't do nothing. You might as well not even try to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you almost look crazy, and they create even other moments from what you put out with the new content. But yeah, man, those first weeks, dog, they can make or break some artists. But I also do think it's a part of the artist's job to sort of not prep, but to sort of kind of like narrate that as the release is going on. You know what I mean? Like, it's because, some artists, they talk about it in their rhymes. They may have done crazy the last time they did an album, but they ain't fit. If you setting your fans up to expect that, well, you can't try to go in your closet when you do half of what you did the first time, because you've been rapping about it now. You've been talking like you a big numbers machine. Like if Drake was all of a sudden to act like numbers don't matter to him after having an album that doesn't do good so well, he would look kind of crazy, because in his lyrics he always talking about, I got more slaps than the Beatles, I got, I do such and such. He it's all plastered through his music, right? But even though when he does, like honestly, never mind, when you're using the scale of what Drake albums typically do, it wasn't the greatest, but he didn't emphasize like that's what it was about. He didn't even care. Like, at this moment, he not even caring. He don't submit his stuff to Grammys. He don't really roll out singles before they come out. He just throwing it out now. So now it's like, okay, that's what I mean by like kind of conditioning. That's the better word. He's conditioned us to not really expect those big boy numbers no more. If they do it, so what? He's just trying to have us focus on the album now, because he's not even doing big boy promotion. Like, it's just whatever. So I think that's kind of how it boils down too with the artists on how they condition their fans, man. But yeah, man, hopefully, I know one album that's gonna go crazy this year, dog, is probably that Rihanna for sure, bro. Like, she probably gonna come out the gate swinging, dog. Like,
she got the most anticipated joint, bro, of the year. I hope she capitalizes and actually release it. Let us actually get it.
Yeah.
And then on top of that Super Bowl performance, it's only up from here, G.
Oh, it's only up, man. It's only up. I'm gonna keep on casting in my votes and requests to rap my boy Breezy in there, man. I need it, dog. But look, we almost coming to an end, man. We gonna start wrapping in some new segments. You know what I mean? Y'all gonna go on this journey with us. You know what I mean? Hopefully we have some keep the same energy moments that we can, work that segment in. I know my boy got the shirt on tonight, but yeah, man, we gonna send out some trivia today, man. Trivia may be a weekly, maybe a bi-weekly. In today's trivia, dog, it has the honors of being around one of the most special guys in the history of basketball, right?
Okay, let's go.
Stephen Curry led all rookies in which category for 2009-2010 NBA season? When I see that question, I mean, I immediately think one thing only, but it may or may be that. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna leave that question there, man. Make sure y'all get in the comment section. Feel free to send. What I'll probably do is whenever this actually drops, I'll also put a snapshot of that on the stories along with the episode, so you guys can reply via story as well. So yeah, man, y'all get in there. See if y'all got the answer for this, man. If y'all do, who knows, man? We ain't at the point where we finna send $100 gift cards and all that other good stuff. But who knows, man? We may be taking names down for future reference where we remember the winners, and y'all may get something down the lane. You know what I'm saying? So definitely come with your hard hats on and see if you can get the answer right, man. And maybe we send y'all some blessings sometime. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Hey, man, you might get a cash app or something, man. Stay tuned. But look,
who knows?
Word, man. I'm amped for this, man. I'm glad we got episode 2 in the books, man. I'm thinking that we're gonna definitely get into some more of that heat, coming up, man, with the new topics, man. What we got coming, man? Let the people know, man.
Hey, man. Hey, likewise, my brother. We be chatting and having smoke all throughout the week, but it always feels good to get to the smoke here on this pod. Definitely warming up to the pod, too, man. They probably don't have a clue on how it all works, but it definitely is a lot to go into it. But I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean? And hopefully it's coming across the screen as enjoyable. And, man, as far as next episodes and things we got coming up, I believe we're going to jump into the All-Star predictions. Hopefully they don't come out before we get to it. But, yeah, man, All-Star predictions. And if they do, we can still chop it up about, lineups and things of that nature, MVP picks, whatever. And then
All-Star snubs.
All-Star snubs are going to be good. And then we also will get into Grammy predictions. You know what I mean? That's going to be a good one. And talk about the snubs of all the people that probably should have won, should have been in, all that other good stuff, man. I think that's going to be the boatload of the next one. And then we'll kind of fill out, it may be some current things going on that may be more bigger momentarily at the time that we chop it up about. But I think that'll be the bevy of what we get to next time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure, man. Look, man, appreciate everybody rocking with the pod. Like, comment, subscribe, hit us up. Let your people know. Share the pod with somebody if you're feeling the content. Like, don't leave us hanging, bro. We trying to grow with y'all, you know what I'm saying? So make sure you tap in with me and Word, man. It's your man, Kenny Clarity. Go follow us on all the socials. I'm not going to say the socials this time because Word keep switching everything up. So I'm going to let him say it. But I'm just letting y'all know, man. Like, tap in with us, bro. We trying to grow with y'all.
Yeah, man. Make sure y'all tap in, dog. Like he said, man, yeah, make sure y'all follow us on all the socials, man. It is the Word of Clarity. That is it. When it drops on, when this also drops on DSP's, the Word of Clarity podcast is actually the whole thing. So, yeah, man, make sure y'all doing that. It's going to be available via video, as you're looking at now on YouTube. Also, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And, I know some of y'all like to not, I hope y'all not watching this while driving, but it's also audio. That's another good thing. So make sure y'all put your car view on and all that other good stuff. But, man, yeah, make sure y'all do that. And we on TikTok, we on YouTube, we on IG, and we on Twitter. All at the Word of Clarity. That is it. So, yeah, man, it's your boy Word. I got my boy Kenny G. Nah, he ain't
yes,
Kenny G. Why I keep calling you Kenny G, though, dog?
Hey, I like it, bro. I like it. It's probably going to stick, man. Kenny Clarity, but a.k.a. Kenny G, man. You know what I mean? For the Word of Podcast.
Nah, man. It's your boy Word from the Word of Clarity Podcast with my boy Kenny G. We out of here.